Okay, so we are starting with our last section on the vagus nerve, which is home remedies that you can do for yourself at home. It's the easiest thing, and it's actually everything that I'm going to list are things that are so easily accessible and so easy to do. It really is possible. The only thing you will need to do this is discipline. That might be your biggest cost around here, is to have the discipline to do these things daily. Okay, so it's basically just self-healing. So the most important things that they could track in research to healing your own vagus nerve are the following things: positive relationships, having security in who you are and having self-love, having daily gratitude, to be mindful and stay happy as much as possible. What you eat is very important. Your dietary habits, I think everyone knows this. It affects your mental health, it affects your physical health. It's so important. And then we also will have a list of foods that you should avoid. Meal prep obviously is important. And then supplements. Is supplements necessary for the vagus nerve? We'll look a bit at that. So we're starting first with positive relationships. It's very important to surround yourself with people who are positive. When we surround ourselves with pessimistic people, those people's energy tend to make us also negative. So try and surround yourself with people who tend to see the glass half full, who tend to have the silver lining around the clouds, or just even people who bounce back quickly. When we find ourselves in relationships with people who take weeks and weeks to get over a setback in life, it's really difficult to stay positive. So try and surround yourself with people who really bounce back quickly. The vagus nerve connects to the nerves that hear, so in our ears, and it connects also to our mouth, which is speech. And it's also responsible for the oxytocin release in the brain, which is vital for human connection and relationship and bonding. So it is also easier to have relationship and to bond with people when we surround ourselves with positive people. When your speech is negative, it has a negative effect on the vagus nerve. Positive speech, on the other hand, has a positive effect on the vagus nerve. And obviously, we want to affect this nerve with positivity as much as possible. Negativity activates the stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol in the body, and people who have higher vagal tone are kinder. So the stronger the vagus nerve is, the kinder you'll be, not only to other people, but also to yourself. And the more positive you are, the easier you will bond with others. Interaction with other people tones the vagus nerve. And if you even think of the vagus nerve is in the front of the body, when we hug people, when we have that physical connection with people, it is very important. It calms us, it soothes us. And that all happens through the vagus nerve. The next thing is security in yourself and self-love. Self-love, scientifically proven, is connected to your immune functions. If you feel unsafe or stressed, um, you you automatically don't like yourself, you don't like your life, you don't like the situations you find yourself in. You just want to you sort of want to survive and not live life. So it's very important for us to try and feel safe and try and limit our stress responses as much as possible. Stress causes extreme vagus nerve damage and can cause extreme anxiety and panic attacks. So how to help yourself feel more secure? It helps to spend time on breathing exercises when you feel anxious, understanding your anxiety, understanding what triggers your anxiety, what types of situations or people or verbal cues, and then also understanding how to cope with it. Create a safe, quiet space for yourself. You can journal or just even put up instrumental music. Just have some quiet time during the day and ask yourself questions like, why am I anxious? Why am I getting triggered? We also have a free anxiety podcast on our YouTube channel. For mental security is very important for our physical security. We are also in August doing a self-help course on how to find security, how to find yourself, how to set goals, how to get yourself out of difficult situations. So we are trying to provide the extra help for these types of situations. The next thing is gratitude. If you've ever booked a session with me, you'll know that I sort of can't keep quiet about doing a gratitude list and doing it daily. Gratitude has the highest vibrating frequency of all emotions. And that frequency, that resonance, that gratitude releases in your body actually starts attracting. It has a pulling effect to it, first of all. It attracts positivity. It attracts the things that your mind sees as good for you. It attracts what you value. And it also has an effect on repelling certain things. The frequency is so pure and high that it sort of repulses negative frequencies, negative emotions, negativity. So the more gratitude you have, the more positive things you'll attract into yourself. A grateful attitude is synonymous with a high vagal tone. When you have high vagal tone, you will experience positive emotions easier and more frequently. The opposite is also true. The lower the vagal tone, the more frequently you will experience negative emotions. So you need to get into the habit of being grateful, because that frequency that it releases in your body connects to the vagus nerve. And it just sets you up for positivity. I usually suggest that people start off with gratitude the moment they open their eyes. We often wake up and the first thing we think is, oh, I don't want to get up, or oh, I'm not in the mood for this day, or this is going to be such a long day, or oh, I'm so tired. We start off with negativity, and that sort of sets the pace for our whole day. Whereas if we start off with gratitude, just saying, oh, I'm so grateful I had a warm bed to sleep in. I'm so grateful that I could wake up today. I'm grateful for this day. There's a lot of opportunities in this day for me to thrive. Try and start off with gratitude as far as you can. Okay, and if you want to improve your gratitude list, if you struggle to do this just mentally, my advice to you is to have 5 minutes a day where you sit down and you make a gratitude list, and you do it with pen and paper. We need to have gratitude where things are tough. A gratitude journal, so that you can say thank you to people or things. That's very important. And not only to just sit and do the task, so you can say, okay, I did my gratitude list now, but to really sit and feel the things that you are gratitude for, to think, oh, I'm so grateful for this person in my life, they've helped me so much, and to really sit and feel that emotion is very important. Even if it is small things, it can be as simple as your favorite food or your first mug of coffee for the day, whatever it is. Just try and find things around you that you can be grateful for. And be sure to spend quality time with people daily that also have gratitude, because that will attract more gratitude to you. The next thing is to be mindful and stay happy. I think we often fool ourselves into thinking that if we are happy, all of our problems will be solved, or only if we get this and this and this, then we'll be happy. And I've seen so many videos of famous people who put their happiness aside to follow a goal, because they thought achieving this goal, whether it's like winning the Olympics or whatever, that they thought they'll be happy after they've achieved this goal. And all of them say then they felt empty, because all of their sacrifice, all of their hard work, now they've achieved this goal and they're still not happy. And I think it's because we don't realize that happiness is a choice that we make in ourselves and for ourselves. And it's a choice that we make daily. And part of that is through having people around us who are positive and having gratitude for the things we already have and not focusing so much on the future and what we need or want out of life, but really sitting back and thinking that the current life that you are living is someone else out there's dream life and you're ungrateful for it and you're not happy. So really start choosing to be happy. Make choices that will reflect happiness in your mind and not sadness or a feeling of sorrow. Whatever it is you're struggling with, loneliness, try and be happy with what you have. Diet and eating habits do play a role in our happiness. We all know that our microbiome do affect our vagus nerve and how it functions, and probiotics and kombucha is very good for your gut. And if your gut is happy, there's that gut-brain connection with the vagus nerve. It really has a big effect. That's why we say you are what you eat. And if we eat things that are healthy for our bodies, our mind and our emotions also become happy. So be careful what you eat and try and fill your body with probiotics and kombucha. They really help feeding the body. You can now pause this video if you want to read the things that I put in italics for you here. Just extra things that can help with the physical connection between the brain and the gut and things that we can eat or take, etc., that will help us. Okay, foods to avoid, because these foods promotes inflammation, and inflammation is not good for the body, it's not good for the vagus nerve. So any refined grains, including white bread, white rice, pasta, breakfast cereals, snack foods, including chips, cookies, crackers, and pastries, sodas, and other sweetened drinks, fried food, red meats or processed meats, especially processed meats, it's not good for us. Okay, then the question of supplements. The best thing you can do for your body is to get your nutrients through your diet first. Don't eat garbage food and then take supplements. First, try and eat a very well-balanced diet and then supplement with whatever you need. Also, don't just take supplements. If possible, go for some tests. We do offer supplement sessions where we can test what supplements and nutrients your body needs. But it's also, if you can, go for some blood tests to see what your body needs. If you do take supplements, try and get herbal organic supplements we don't want things that has added metals in it or preservatives or a supplement that's lab grown and not a natural supplement. So don't replicate what is good for you through supplementing. It is best absorbed through food. Organic food will have the right nutrients in them. How you eat and what you eat is equally important. Be a mindful eater. Take the time to appreciate what you are eating. Chew your food thoroughly. Smell your food. It is all part of activating the vagus nerve because it stretches over the entire digestive system. Chewing slowly helps to digest your food and improves vagal tone. Social meals also helps to boost vagal tone. So many of us, we put on the TV and we eat and there's silence. Try and even if you put some music on the background and have conversations around food, it's supposed to be a social event. Exercise aids in the nervous system. Vocal exercises, especially positive social interactions. Cold exposure. Oh, I get so many people who complain about the cold exposure. We're all a bit scared to start with the cold exposure, but it really does help. Laughing, massages, chiropractors, and enemas, and acupuncture. So let's quickly get all of these. So vocal exercises, the vagus nerve has pathways that extend to your vocal cords and into the throat. The vibrations activates the vagus nerve and helps to stimulate high vagal tone. Anything that engages the vocal cords can stimulate the nerve. So sing, put some music on and just sing your heart out. It doesn't matter if you can sing or not. Those exercises are very good for your vagus nerve, especially if you have issues in the area where your vocal cords are. If you have issues with your thyroid or your parathyroid gland, singing can be very good to stimulate that area. Singing in the shower, prayer time, saying the same thing over and over again might help. These are affirmations. This is something we will cover in our course that we're doing in August. Cold exposure or ice baths. Now listen, if you are like me, doing an ice bath is not going to happen, but I do try and do cold exposure. And once I read up about this, I realized that we usually go on holiday in an area where the ocean is cold. And I just don't have any of my normal problems when we're there, because I take a swim every day, maybe 2 or 3 times in a cold ocean, which is basically like an ice bath for me, but I sleep well, my stress is less, I'm happy. And I always thought, well, maybe it's because I'm on holiday, but maybe it's not. I think it's the cold exposure that we get from the ocean. So things that I do that helps is I turn down the warm water for the last minute of the shower. And I really just breathe, because cold water is a shock to the body. Your lungs, you constrict. You immediately think, your body thinks it's going into survival mode. But that shock is just what the vagus nerve needs. So just turn down the warm water. In the winter, I really struggle with this. I'm not able to do it, but I do it when I wash my hair. I flip my head over and I turn off all the warm water and I just let the cold water run over my head. The back of the neck is the best place for cold water, or for ice or exposure. So I try and get the back of my neck in this process as well. It also activates the neurons along the vagus nerve. It stimulates the nerves and aids in bringing down the fight and flight response. It also can reverse stomach issues. Cold on the neck shows best results. Okay, so another thing that you can do is you take a bowl and you put water in it and you freeze it overnight, and in the morning you take it out and you top it up with just normal tap water, and then you dunk your face in that ice cold water is another thing that I've seen. Or just even taking a cold compress and putting it on the back of your neck. This really does help, especially if you struggle with anxiety and panic attacks. This cold shock to the body activates the vagus nerve very well, and it intercepts those signals from the amygdala that's saying there's something wrong when there actually isn't. Okay. Oh dear, sorry. Massages can also help stimulate the vagus nerve. This was the best news I ever heard. I was like, I'm going to the spa every few months because it's not for me, it's for my vagus nerve. Okay, so this also reduces stress and anxiety. Foot massages can help. Even if you go to the physio, just to let them work out the knots on your back, massages are great for the vagus nerve. Enemas, yes, enemas. The vagus nerve works very closely with the gut. And a lot of people and a lot of research that I've listened to and that I've read up on really suggests enemas. Gut health will boost the vagal health. And a lot of people use enemas to help the gut. Okay, so to activate the pelvis is a good tool to have. The type of enema is important that you use. From the research that I've seen, it is very useful to use organic coffee enemas. And because the biocompounds will stimulate the nerve endings of the vagus nerve, be sure to use organic coffee enemas. There are a lot of other enemas that you can do. Make sure that what you are doing is healthy for your body. Make sure you do research before you just do anything. It also aids in bile production and getting the bile flowing in the correct direction. And it also helps to flush out any toxins and parasites that build up in the body. And in turn, this will strengthen the vagal tone. Make sure to do the correct research on how to make your own coffee enema or buy one that is already made. Music and sound can also help the brain. Neuroplasticity is very important. And one of the best ways to get neuroplasticity is with music. And we all know that music can affect our mood. Just make sure about the music that you use, that the words in the music are positive and it's not a bunch of nonsense you are listening to. You can use music to change your vagal tone. It can change your heart rate, blood pressure, boost memory, and put you into a relaxed state. Deep breathing. Breathing through your nose is essential, especially breathing in through your nose is essential. You can do a bit of research on this, but a lot of people have anxiety because they breathe through their mouths. There's also a direct link to breathing through your mouth and your genes and how your genes form. So when possible, try and breathe in through your nose. Deep breathing exercises need to be done at least for 5 minutes for them to have any effect on the vagus nerve. So it's not just sit for 1 minute and do deep breathing. Put time and effort into this. It also needs to be done, your breathing. Make sure that you use your diaphragm when you breathe. There's a lot of videos online that you can find that helps you with deep breathing exercises. Okay, so this is all about self-empowerment. How can you help yourself at home? How can you help yourself to get rid of any negativity that has caused you to have low vagal tone? And how can you strengthen your entire being to get to a high vagal tone? Okay, make sure that you do your own research. With the vagus nerve having pathways to almost every organ in the body, researchers are looking to see if stimulation can help other conditions as well. You can look at some videos online, read up on what you can do to help stimulate your vagus nerve by pressing on the skin. Okay, so there are a lot of people who really help you to find pressure points that connect to the vagus nerve and help stimulate it. Okay, so this is it for our vagus nerve session. I really hope you enjoyed this with me. I think it's very important to just recap a few things, that the vagus nerve is very important in the body, especially if you are struggling with anxiety. It also connects to your gut health, which connects to your brain, and that gut-brain connection is very important. So make sure that you don't just focus on one area of healing. If you want to heal the vagus nerve, there are a couple of things that you need to touch on, but the physical and the emotional health is equally important to fix your vagus nerve. Thank you so much for listening to this course. I really hope you enjoyed it. I do offer sessions for the vagus nerve, and I've seen a lot of progress in some of my clients who diligently be working on their vagus nerve. So if you want to book a session with me for your vagus nerve, please follow the instructions on the screen now, or you are welcome to visit my website and WhatsApp me. That's usually the quickest way to get a response from me, is from WhatsApp. I hope you have a lovely day, and thank you again for joining us for this course.